Cyberpunk 2, or Project Orion, as CD Projekt Red calls it internally, isn't just a sequel. It's a signal that the studio wants to leave that rocky launch behind and build something bigger and better. Even though it's only in pre-production, leaks and official hints already paint a picture of a bold follow-up of a game that moves beyond Night City, ditches the old engine for the Unreal Engine 5, and might even bring online features into the mix. Today we're going to break everything down that we know about the story, the setting, the characters, the features, and we're going to tease a wild possibility involving the next city that could change everything. And I know you're thinking, Chicago, right? Stick around. There's a rumor about the new metropolis that honestly might make Night City look tame. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy, your Cash. Remember, I read every single comment on every single video. That is true. And today we're going to dive in. I know I have a passionate Cyberpunk community here on the channel, so thank you for all the support. Make sure you guys drop a like and you're subscribed. And let's start with the development and the timeline. Now, official documents and leaks make it clear. Cyberpunk 2, it's real, it's underway, it's confirmed. Internal Microsoft Bethesda documents shown during an FTC trial listed a Cyberpunk 3 Project Orion in the schedule, proving that the sequel is in planning stages as early as 2023. Then, CD Projekt Red confirmed that the conceptual phase is over. The game has entered pre-production, with around 96 developers currently working on it. That's pretty crazy. Now, Michael Nowowski told investors that CDPR's games typically take 4 to 5 years in the oven from pre-production to release, meaning the team expects a long gestation period and has not committed to a specific year yet. Now, analysts, they are speculating a release around 2029, particularly since CDPR is also focused on The Witcher 4 right now. With such a distant window, it's honestly no wonder the studio emphasizes quality over haste. I feel like they're definitely taking the Rockstar approach here. Let's cook it until it's absolutely ready so we don't ever go back to the debacle that was the original Cyberpunk launch. Now, one of the biggest revelations comes from Cyberpunk creator himself, Mike Pondsmith, who consulted on the sequel's development. And during the Digital Dragons 2025 conference, Pondsmith said he toured CDPR's new North American studios in Boston and Vancouver, and he saw concept art and scripts for the next game. He revealed that the sequel will still include Night City, but it's also going to take players to a second major location, a gritty industrial metropolis that doesn't feel like Blade Runner. It feels more like Chicago gone wrong. We talked about this in the last video. A lot of you were on board with this. Pondsmith explained that he spent time with an environment artist who described how this new city fits the Cyberpunk universe, and he left convinced that the tone really works. And if you can convince the creator, then you're probably onto something. Now, the new city will likely be connected to Night City by high-speed maglevs, of course, hinted at in the lore, and then Phantom Liberty, and that would allow CDPR to deliver multiple urban playgrounds. The inclusion of an American studio, Boston, Vancouver, aims to make the world feel more authentically American, but we're still going to be grounded in that cyberpunk aesthetic. Now, CDPR learned harsh lessons from the launch of Cyberpunk 2077, to say the least. So the sequel, it's abandoning the proprietary RED engine, the Red engine. It's going to go with the Unreal Engine 5, which I think is a smart move. In the 2023 interview, game director Gabe Amitangelo told Bloomberg that the sequel will be developed using UE5, and Gaming Press emphasized that the Switch should make development much smoother. We'd have built-in features for open-world AI, improved performance, all that good stuff. And that aligns with Cyberpunk and The Witcher remake and suggests the team will tap into Epic's toolset for ray tracing, dynamic lighting, and large-scale AI, or large-scale crowd AI, that is. Now, CDPR, they've already posted job listings for lead encounter designers and system engineers. Could you imagine being a lead encounter designer on this project? That'd be pretty cool. Now, one listing stated that the candidate will collaborate with systems designers to create the most realistic and reactive crowd system in any game to date. Another role for a lead network engineer explicitly mentioned creating seamless and robust online systems, and that implied that the sequel would include online or multiplayer functionality. Now, CDPR has not committed to a full multiplayer suite, and they haven't said anything, but these posts, they are suggesting, they are pushing at least a cooperative or shared world element, which some people will be excited, some people will say we don't need that. Now, because the first game's ending varied wildly, depends on what you did, CDPR hasn't revealed who the new protagonist will be. The original hero V could return in some form, possibly as a digital construct, mirroring Johnny Silverhand's role from the first one. Alternatively, the sequel may introduce a completely new mercenary exploring the Chicago-esque city. In a January 2024 interview, narrative director Igor himself said, well, he tweeted, that the team's move to Boston marked the official kickoff of our Orion journey, and that 2077 was just a warm-up for what they were planning to deliver next. Now, Shack News noted that Sarinsky seemed confident the sequel will surpass the predecessor in narrative ambition, which you really, really want to when you're making a sequel, so that's all good news. Meanwhile, CDPR's Answer Red podcast hinted at deeper branching narratives. Narrative director Philip Weber explained that the team wants to improve on the life path system, making each background choice feel more consequential, unlike in 2077 where the Nomad, the Corporal, and the Street Kid origins quickly converge. The sequel may therefore offer more divergent story paths and even heavier consequences for players' decision. And everybody wants to know who's returning. There's nothing confirmed yet. Johnny Silverhand's fate in 2077 depends on your player's choice, what you did. What did you do? Let me know in the comment section. But given Keanu Reeves' star power, cameos, come on. It's not off the table. It's on the table. It's firmly on the table. The same goes for side characters. You've got Ro, you've got Pan Am. The survival also hinges on decisions in Phantom Liberty. Now, fans are debating whether a cured or a comatose V could appear as a mentor, maybe a quest giver. Who knows? Doesn't matter. Regardless, I mean, CDPR is going to craft references to the original game without forcing, I guess you could say, single mechanical endings, because you can't really go that way because there was not one. I mean, I guess there's probably one ending that is canon. I don't even know what it is, to be honest with you. If you know, let me know. Now, beyond world building, the sequel is aiming to fix and expand the core systems. That means reactive crowds and AI. CDPR's listings we talked about calls for building the most realistic crowd ever, meaning civilians should react believably to violence, to weather, to player decisions. Improve life paths, branching narratives. Weber wants each origin story to lead to unique missions, unique relationships, instead of merging all of it right after the prologue. And then you've got enhanced graphics and performance. Come on, you're leveraging the Unreal Engine 5. The team could implement so much. High-resolution textures, ray tracing, lighting, stable 60 FPS modes, fingers crossed, all kinds of other stuff. And then potential online functionality. That job lead we talked about. Lead network engineer mentions seamless and robust online systems. Once again, hinting at cooperative missions or shared worlds. I don't know. Not going to touch too much on that right now. The upgrades, though, they're going to bring this game closer to the immersive, systems-driven RPG that many people wanted for at launch. You combine all the vow to avoid crunch and the vow to test thoroughly, and we should be optimistic. So when do we get it? When do we get our hands on Cyberpunk 2? There's no official release date, but the pre-production timeline does give us clues. CD Projekt Red's executives explain that their games take 4 to 5 years, like I said, in the oven, from pre-prog to launch. So since pre-production began in 2025, everybody's saying 2029 to 2030. That also gives space for The Witcher 4, which targets a mid-2027 release, avoiding internal competition. So it's going to be a while, but that's okay. I mean, in the meantime, the Amazon Fallout series proved that big-budget sci-fi adaptations can reignite interest in older games too. So CDPR probably hopes that Phantom Liberty and the TV series keep the franchise in the spotlight while the sequel quietly cooks. I'm going to say 2029. If The Witcher 4 comes out in 2027 and they stay on track and then you hit them with Cyberpunk 2 in 2029, come on. CDPR, they're at the top. They really, really are. Let me know what you guys think. I'll keep you posted if anything new breaks, and I'll see you soon.